Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Hope you are doing amazing. Welcome, welcome. For those of you who are catching me, my name is Susanna Briscoe-Alba, and I have a question for you. Are you scared? Are you afraid? Because today we're going to be talking about some of the things that I have observed since the resume bootcamp and just some of the things that I have observed in general from our tribe members. And I don't want you to operate this way. So listen, if you're watching me, I want you to tag someone and let them know, hey, Susanna's about to drop some stuff, so you don't want to miss this. And for those of you who are joining, hello, hello. Tell me where you are joining me from. If this is your first time with us, welcome. Hello from Switzerland. South Africa is in the building. I am going to be looking out this way because I'm waiting for my son to come. But I want to talk about something that I started to share in my private group that I am starting to see a lot of. Hi, Vilma. Oh, sweetheart. Vilma is one of my amazing students from Angola, and she is brilliant. So it's so good to see you, sweetheart. But that so made my day. I love my clients. So when I get to see them on here, it makes my heart really happy. But I want to talk to y'all about 3 fears that I'm starting to see just amongst our followers, okay? And I want to address them because I want you to be aware of where you fall. And I don't want you to make decisions out of fear, but I want you to make decisions out of power. And I'm going to try to break them down as quickly as I possibly can before my little man comes home. The first fear that I'm seeing is pretty common, and it is fear of the unknown. With everything that is going on in the industry right now, there's a lot of people that are facing layoffs or have been a part of layoffs. There are companies who are right sizing, or they're trying to flatten, or they're trying to restructure or reorganize, all of the things. And so that has some of you in a tizzy in terms of fear of the unknown. What if I'm the next person? I remember I was speaking with a client of mine, and she's like, Susanna, I'm on the phone with you, and they are literally walking people out as I'm on the phone with you. And she's like, I'm reaching out to you because I feel like I'm going to be next. And so it's a very real, palpable fear, okay? The other thing that I am starting to observe is the fear of success. And the fear of success, pretty much, some of y'all will fall into this category in that you know that the work that you do is good. You know that it's good. And you're afraid of taking on another project because it's not that the project is not going to succeed. It's just that what if it succeeds really well and people realize that I'm still trying to figure things out as I go? What if the project's really, really amazing, or my team does great work and they realize that I'm still trying to figure things out and I don't know all the answers? And I want you to understand that that is a very real fear, but that doesn't mean that you should stop, okay? That is a very real fear, and it's the fear of success. You're not afraid that the project is going to do well, or that the team is going to do well, or that you'll be able to close on some sales. You're not scared of that. You know you will. But somewhere in the back of your mind and in the depths of your heart, you're so scared that if this goes well, eventually they'll find out that you're not as good as you claim to be. And that is in that fear of success is where imposter syndrome tries to get really loud. Really loud, because it will start to have you operate in a way like, I need more confirmation, or I need more certifications, or I need to connect with these right people. And it puts you in a place of comparing yourself instead of owning how incredible you are. So there's the fear of the unknown, totally normal. Fear of success, which is, I don't think many of you have had language to articulate what that means. And it gets really famous under the guise of imposter syndrome. And then there is the fear of being seen. Okay. And the fear of being seen, especially if you are a woman of color in the United States, you have lived through some experiences as a woman of color. You've dealt with microaggressions. You've dealt with people who have opinions when it comes to you expressing yourself about the things that you are passionate about the things that perhaps are not going the way that they should. They consider you to be rough around the edges or difficult to work with, or the one that always has something to say. In my case, I was the angry black girl or the angry brown girl. But in many ways, it's not even like I was trying to piss people off. I just was trying to be me. And in trying to be me, it made other people uncomfortable. And so younger Susanna would fall to the fear of being seen because it was safer for me, or so I thought. It was safer for me just to like maintain the status quo. It was safer for me to just stay where I was at. Never mind that it was messing with my mind. It was messing with my ability to do work. It was messing with the way that I was treating my family, because how many of us, when we've had a rough day at work, we bring some of that mess home. And then you can't articulate why you snapping at your children or why you snapping at your husband. And when they ask you, how was your day? You're like, I'm fine. Now, sis and bro, I know you are not fine. And I wanted to break this down for y'all because, yes, I do a lot of talking surrounding how to look for a job, where to look, how to articulate your value, what you should be putting on your resume, like all of that. I talk about all of those things. But one of the biggest things that we have uncovered in our agency is that fear, those fears that you're letting influence and infiltrate the way that you make decisions. And because you have not attached or have not addressed the root, you start to sound like this. Oh, well, I'm not going to apply to any jobs because the market is hard right now and everybody is complaining about how difficult the job market is. So that means that it's going to be difficult for me. Or I'll hear you say things like, well, I'm not happy at my job, but like it's not bad either. But like I'm not happy at my job. Or I'll hear things like, well, my opportunity is on its way. And so if I just keep doing what I'm doing right now, eventually somebody will notice and they'll just tell me like, hey, listen, there's this opportunity for you. And we're going to give it to you. Some of y'all, I'm in your business because you're in the comments telling me, yes, that's me. But I want you to realize like how much those three fears make themselves present in the way that we show up and in the work that we do. Because the fear of success is the one that has you feeling like you know that you are that individual, that you can do your boss's work. Like you're at that level. But you're so afraid to apply for the position because what if this is really successful and I can't sustain it? What if I'm wildly successful and like people just, it falls all apart? Like you paint this picture like you live in a house of cards, and at the first like you feel like your whole world is going to fall apart. And so you rather keep applying to the same positions, and then you get upset when they don't respond to you. If you're from the US, one of the things that we say is, especially in New York, is I'm just calling a spade a spade. Right? So there's the fear of success. There is the fear of being seen. Because for some of y'all, you have learned to thrive in traumatic, toxic, chaotic environments that at the moment of somebody giving you a genuine compliment, you don't trust it. So when they tell you, wow, that was really good. Wow, I had never thought of it that way. You, instead of accepting said compliment, you downplay it. Oh, it was just something that I came up with. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, I'm pretty sure anybody can think about it that way. Really? Except that you know I'm in your business because this has been stuff that you have heard time and time and time and time again. But because you have been subjected to a toxic and traumatic workplace environment, when you get into the right areas where people genuinely support and genuinely come to you because they see you as a solution, you don't know what to do. And so then you get with me on a call or you get with one of our career strategists on a call and you're like, you want us to do what? You know how else it shows up? The fear of, this one specifically, the fear of failure or the fear of the unknown is you'll get on a call or we'll start talking about an opportunity and your immediate response is, I got to think about it. I'm not sure. I need for those of you who profess to be Christians and believers, as I am, one of the things we'll say a lot of is I need to pray about it. I need to get more confirmation. Yeah, I need to talk to more people about it. And let me just break this down for you because this took me a really long time. Not everyone should have access to your dream at the start of your dream. Not everybody should have access to the gift that you are when it is in a seed form. Because in seed form is when it's the easiest for it to get killed, for it to die, for it not to grow. And there are some people in your life and in my life that we've had to get rid of because they were seed killers. And so instead of fertilizing and helping me to grow and helping me to see the possibilities, they stifle it. Oh, now you big time. You know how many times I hear that? Oh, now you big time. You got all these followers. Now you can't hang out with commoners. It's like, no, it's not that I can't hang out with commoners. It's just that you and I are clearly not on the same path to pursue the same thing. And it's okay. It's all right. But it took me a really long time to be okay with separating that. And the other thing that I don't think there's enough conversation around is mourning or grieving when you've walked away from something that you've known for so long. And so you know what else I hear? I'd rather stay with the devil that I know, Susanna. I'd rather stay with the devil that I know. And it's like, but the devil that you know is killing you. So we rather die. Is that what you're telling me? And so when we offer opportunities or when you are looking at new opportunities, it all ties into what you believe about you. What you believe to be true about you. Why do you think that one of the things that I tell you when we're having our Monday Q&As or when I've gone live, I tell you to keep an evidence list? It's to combat these three fears: the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of being seen. Because in the moments where you want to shrink, your data tells you that you can stand on business. In the moment where you're not sure, your data tells you that when you were unsure before, you still figured it out. In the moments where you're shaky and you're not sure how to look at all the steps and everything is not like where it needs to be, the data tells me that you know how to create a system and a process and an operation. So like that, at least the first step is a step in the right direction. But then you don't want to. And I want to talk to my high achieving, my high performing professionals, because it's mostly y'all that get so wrapped up in your head. It's mostly y'all, especially when I'm working with your resume and I'm trying to get information and I'm trying to show you new opportunities and pushing you into other industries. My clients go through this with me all the time because they're like, I'm not ready. And it's like, yes, you are. But if you're waiting for everything to fall in line, you are going to stay stuck. It's like all of these companies that are like hesitant to AI. If you're waiting, AI will continue to take off and your business is going to fail. So what are we going to do? And let me tell you, and I say this with as much love as possible. Okay? Whenever I say that, just be ready that like I'm going to snatch your edges off. But I say this with as much love as possible. If what you are doing were working, your outcome would be different by now. If what you were doing was working, the outcome would be different by now. And for those of you who are in this place where it's like, I just got to keep doing this. I just got to go back to school. I just got to get more certifications. You will acquire all of those and still feel like you fall short. It's the reason why so many professionals feel like they're stuck. And in our private group, I asked, where are you right now? Do you feel like, are you fresh out of like college? Are you just starting out? Are you just ready for retirement? Or do you feel like you're stuck in middle management? And many of y'all responded by telling me, I feel like I'm stuck. But my question is, what are we doing to get unstuck? One of the things that I hear a lot of people give me resistance on when I tell them network, right? Make new connections. Reach out to other people. Invest in yourself. And notice the language that I'm using. I'm not telling you to come and buy and work with me because I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. My strategists, the people in my agency, are not for everybody, and that's all right. But you cannot stay in that same spot because it's insanity. You keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And so if we're going to work towards getting unstuck, there's going to be an investment that needs to be made. It's either going to be an investment of your time or an investment of your money. And in some cases, it's going to be both things. And I can understand why people will feel some type of way when you hear me online like, hey, come join us at the Resume Bootcamp. Hey, come book a call with us. Hey, this is what we have to offer. You should consider it. Because there's a lot of people out here telling you a whole lot of nothing. Okay? And then there's other people who are saying a whole lot, and they've never managed a team. They've never been responsible or held accountable. They're toxic in and of themselves. So I get it. Because I would be very like questioning, like show me the proof. What is it that you do, right? But when it comes to your career ownership, there has to be a point where you are going to say, you know what? I'm tired of worrying about what everybody else thinks, and I'm tired of doing the same thing. I need to find a new strategy. In this type of market, if you're not making new connections, one of the homeworks that I give my clients, especially those that work with me one-on-one, is that you should be making new connections every day. At least one new connection every day. And like we go through strategies and I give them frameworks and I give them scripts that they can use, but it shouldn't be that you're not making new connections because you are afraid. Because what's the worst that they can say is no? And how many times in a day do you say no? See? And there could be plenty of people who are also waiting for you to make that connection. But because we're so wrapped up in our heads, sometimes we don't even allow for new opportunities to come our way. It's the other reason why I tell you when you go on an interview, take the interviewers off of a pedestal. Take them off a pedestal. Those are human beings just like you. And some interviewers don't know how to interview. And you over here stressed out. I can tell you as a hiring manager, take some of these interviewers off a pedestal because they are much like you trying to figure it out as they go. But the only thing that they don't have over you is that they don't have your lived experience. And so that's why I tell you, don't focus on title. Focus on experience. Because how many of us have worked for people who have titles, but you're the one that's doing the work and you're like, wait a minute. This don't make no sense. Right? But you've placed more emphasis on the title And by the time you get around this individual or you start working with this person, it's like, hold on. You mean to tell me you don't know how to do this? And you're at this level? The math ain't mathing. And so I want you to take honest inventory over these next couple of days. We're going to go live again on Monday for the Monday Q&A. But I want you to take inventory of where you fall right now. Is it the fear of success? Is it the fear of failure? Or is it the fear of being seen? Which one of those, and you could be in all three, but which one of those resonates with you the most? Because unless you attack it at the root, it doesn't matter how much I help you on your resume. It doesn't matter how much I help you on your interviewing skills. It doesn't matter how many interviews you go on or how many offers you get. You're still going to feel like you don't measure up. But you got to attack the root first. Because if you don't attack that first, then what will happen is that you'll feel like you're not worthy of success. Or you'll feel like you're not worthy of moving up. Or you'll feel like somebody else has to give you your worth and your validation. I am sorry, but I am here to tell you that that is not true. You are already equipped with all of the things that you need. I was meeting with a client today, and she was telling me all of the reasons why people wouldn't join this life-changing program that she has. And I told her, I was like, okay, so tell me about the program. She's like, well, I've already been meeting with people on weekends, and there's about 20 that are a part of this group, and all of these other things and all these other stuff. And they tell me how valuable it is, but I just don't feel like anybody's going to participate in my program. And I'm like, let's do a little bit of coaching here. Number one, is that true? And she's like, well, not really. Okay. Number two, is it absolutely true? Is it absolutely true that nobody's going to show up for this program? She's like, well, no, we already have people who show up. Okay. No. So there we have confirmation that it's not true, that people will show up, and that you are the girl for the job. So what is it? And she's like, I'm scared. I'm scared because it's new. And so now we can address the fear, but not the individual. The individual isn't the problem. It's the thought process that we have in here. So I need you to spend some time identifying what is it that you're struggling with? Is it the fear of success? Is it the fear of failure? Or is it the fear of being seen? And from my sisters who are of melanin, if you have an ounce of melanin in you, I need you to come up to the front because I know exactly what it feels like to have more degrees than a thermometer, to run circles around other individuals in your thought process, in the way that you operate, in the way that people gravitate to you. And I also know what it's like to have to lead a team or teams that cannot identify with your lived experience. I see you, sis. And if the reason that I've created my platform is because I want you to feel safe here. And the reason that my whole agency, Dunami, exists is because you are safe here. And if no one's told you, then let me be the first to tell you, you're already qualified. You are the girl. You are the guy for the job. But your fear is lying to you. And so I need you to have a real heart-to-heart moment and say, which aspect, what lie am I choosing to believe? What lie am I choosing to believe? Because it's a choice. And the only person who can make the decision is you. You can have a consultation call with our team. You can join us at the next resume bootcamp whenever we do that again. You can have the most stellar LinkedIn profile. But if you don't believe it about you in here, and you don't believe it about you in here, you will always fall subject to somebody else's opinion about how you should live and how you should operate. And if you're not careful, then with every rejection that you get, you internalize it and start to think, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe the issue is me. Despite the data telling you that the workforce right now is a whole hot mess. Despite the data and the news telling us that some of these companies have no idea what they have going on. Despite all of that, if you're not careful and you're not paying attention to these fears, every rejection that you get, you'll internalize it. Every suggestion that we give you, make new connections. Make sure that you're sharing your opinion or evidence of your work. Make sure that you have an evidence list. All of that will fall to the wayside because you've already decided to believe something about you that's not true. And I feel like it was so necessary for me to share this today because we've had an incredible week just in the agency, meeting with some incredible men and women who are doing amazing work. Our clients can see increases of 35% in this market. This is why I share with y'all what I share with you. Because there's already a whole lot of negativity. Oh, you have to apply to 400 jobs. Oh, you have to apply and have a whole bunch of different resumes. Oh, you need to be out here almost selling your soul in order for you to be able to get a job. While I have people who work with our agency who don't do any of that. So which one is it? Either you confront the fear or you let it rule you. You get to decide. And I know what I want for you because as your coach, I know what I want for you. But I can't want success for you more than you want it for yourself. Because no matter how much I encourage you, no matter how many tips and tricks and reels that I share, no matter how much of that I do, if you don't implement it, it won't change. And I know this to be true because I read through the comments. You know how many people are like, this doesn't work. This sounds so fake. None of these responses work in real life. And there are moments where I'm like, I wish you could see my DMs. Because for every negative comment that you're leaving, I have people who are like, I got my dream job. Or I have people who are like, oh my God, Susanna, I need your help in crafting my resignation letter because I finally put into play what you said on your live. So the reason you'll never see me attack anybody is because you're either operating under one of those three fears. So it's really going to depend over the next couple of days. If you're not already a part of the private group, you should be. But over the next couple of days, I want you to assess which one of these resonates the most with me. And what am I going to do about it? Remember the definition of insanity. Insanity is you doing the same thing expecting a different result. And the whole reason that Dunamis exists, the agency that I work with, is to help you not to have to keep going on the hamster wheel that you feel like you are stuck on. Where some of you, every day feels like Groundhog Day. And for those of you who walked into work today and your way to work, your commute to work was filled with tears, because that's very real. Because you wake up already upset that you have to go to this job, and you come home and your commute home is in tears. My love, how much longer are you going to subject yourself to that? I want you to think about that. And there is definitely a path forward, but you have to be willing and wanting to take it. And it's not going to be comfortable. Sorry, it's not. Because if it were comfortable, everybody would be doing it. So I hope that this live today was it's different than what I usually do. But we've had so much activity and we've been able to help so many people over the last 2 weeks that it felt like, man, if it's happening for one, it has to be happening for other people. And sometimes you just don't have the language. You just don't have the language to articulate what is it, right? Like, what is this feeling that I have? Why do I still feel the same way? And it's probably one of those three things: fear of success, fear of failure, and the fear of being seen. Okay? So I love y'all. I hope that this was helpful for you today. If you feel like you are struggling and you need some support, the link is in my bio. Book a call with myself or one of my team members so that we can help you. And if you don't feel like it's for you, then it's not for you. But don't say that we never offered you anything. Don't say that you don't know where to go. Because struggle does not need to be your standard. Struggle does not need to be your standard. Okay? So, quick question is, could your environment or where you live hinder your connections? If you allow them to. So let's take into consideration that I live in New York. And on this platform alone, I have about 900,000 followers. None of y'all knew me until you started to hear me online. And some of y'all, many of y'all, are all over the world. So that doesn't necessarily that didn't necessarily hinder my ability to make connection. The reason I want to believe that there are so many people who engage with my content is because there's been a transference of trust. You trust me to share with you how to win in this market, and I trust that you are going to implement what I'm sharing. Making connections is simply a transference of trust. I trust that you're going to hold your end of the bargain the same way that I'm going to hold the end of mine. Okay? So I love y'all. My baby is here, and I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Bye, everybody.